the first Complete Careers remote or virtual conference about evidencing the intent, the implementation, and the impact of your careers programme. I'm John Ambrose, and it's fantastic to see just so many familiar names and even faces, really, because although this is our first virtual conference, it's actually our 15th consecutive conference here in Lincolnshire, which our partners have been involved in from days of old, really, through connections and the local authority. So absolutely thrilled to see so many familiar names and faces, but equally thrilled to welcome for the first time new people to the community. And it's an absolute pleasure to welcome you to the Complete Careers and CareerMark community. So I just want to take through just a few moments, really, just to set the scene, really, for the conference today about what to expect. First of all, looking at the outcomes that we're hoping to cover throughout this session today. By the end of today, you would have had the opportunity to have received an update on the national landscape surrounding careers. So we'll look at anything from Ofsted to policy and frameworks and support available too. So you'll have the opportunity to hear from our national speakers and discuss a bit more in workshops about what might be coming up in the next coming months and years, really, in careers developments. There'll also be very much a practical solution-based approach to looking at helping you to evidence the intent, the implementation, and the impact of your careers provision. The Ofsted framework with these 3 I's just blends beautifully well with careers provision and managing careers provision. So it really helps us to be able to look at the right kind of support to help you do just that. And finally, as with all of our conferences, we've prided ourselves over the years, really, on those opportunities to network. It's obviously not quite the same because we'd normally have quite long breaks and long lunches and really give you the opportunity to meet career leaders. I mean, the way in which we've structured this conference, though, we've tried to be able to mirror that approach as much as we possibly can. I'll explain a little bit more about how we hope to do that in a moment. So first of all, just to go through the arrangements for the day for the conference etiquette. Now, first of all, you'll notice that your microphones would have been muted, which is kind of common practice these days, I guess, with Zoom and Teams and Google and whatever video conference platform. And it's mainly to avoid all this conference call bingo of people shouting out or the dog in the background or whatever it may be, kind of thing. So that's what we've done, just to make you aware. I've put patience at the top there. And what I mean by that then really is we are quite a small organisation. We don't have any in-house IT specialists then. We've been spending many days and hours really just trying to think ahead about what kind of technological problems we might encounter today, but I'm sure we would have missed something. So just to say, have a little bit of patience with us, but also have patience with one another too in the breakout groups and overall. The whole conference is being recorded. It will be uploaded to our websites, hopefully later this week, maybe by early next week. And we'll send out the links and all the information along with the slides, really, that have been shared today too. There is the opportunity to participate throughout the whole of the conference. And this is something that we thought quite carefully of. And this is why we've restricted numbers to less than 100, just so that rather than you being talked to all day through keynotes and broader presenters, we really wanted to blend that approach with the opportunities to participate in smaller group environments through the breakout groups. I'll explain a little bit more about how that's going to work in a moment. So there will be those opportunities to raise hands, to unmute your microphone, and to share questions, comments, thoughts, really, that are arising throughout the day. And that's something that we really want to encourage as part of this conference today. Now, agenda, hopefully you'll all have a copy of this and it'll be in your conference pack. And just to say here really that in a few moments, so probably a little bit earlier than 9:45, we'll hand over to Rachel for the first keynote address. Delighted to welcome Rachel, Ryan Gibson and David Andrews, that are all familiar with the Complete Careers and Lincolnshire conferences that we've held over the years and have all attended in the past. David is probably not altogether sure just how many of the conferences we've invited him to speak at, kind of thing, and he's been working on his exit strategy to get away from us now for some years, but we keep trying to entice him back here. So we're thrilled to have all three of our speakers today, along with a number of career leaders and career professionals that can really help to look at the practical solutions in our workshops. I'm also absolutely thrilled to open our very first virtual bar later on today at the end of the conference at 3:15. And I'm thrilled mainly really because it's the one bar I feel quite happy about getting around in, really. So if any of you are free later on in the day, we'll have stopped recording by then, and it's just that opportunity just to take stock, to talk to fellow career professionals, and just to have a really informal discussion around all things in career development, or all things going on in the world, really. So that would be really nice to open that new facility. Just looking at the workshops, it's very difficult when you're preparing a conference such as this on the agenda to explain just really how these workshops are going to take place. So you can see they're going on here at 10:30, 11:25, 12:05, and again in the afternoon at 2:10. But what will actually happen is that you'll be split into 4 groups. You'll be in those 4 groups all day for the different workshops. So roughly about 20 to 25 of you, which can all appear on the same screen together at the same time, to be able to share thoughts and share comments. And again, we'll invite you to be participating as much as you possibly can in those workshops. But for example, the different groups, group 1, there'll be 20 to 25 of you, and you'll be the order you'll follow is you'll start off in a group facilitated by me, then you'll move on to working with Janet's group on intent, and then it'll be on to Mark's with implementation, and finally with Joe for impact. And groups 2, 3 and 4 will get exactly the same inputs, but in a slightly different order, so that you'll all get to see all of the workshops and all the workshop presenters by the end of the day. And again, we'll pop into each of the workshops to be able to record at least one of them, and we'll upload those to the website too, so that we've got everything together there. Now, anybody that's familiar with our Complete Careers conferences will know that it just wouldn't be the same without having a conference quiz going on. And really grateful to one of our partners, Mark Wilkinson, who over the period of since lockdown has really been starting to take the principles of the Bonkers Book of Jobs, for anybody that isn't familiar with that, and really start to provide some fun alternative career learning formats that's free in video formats for learners from mainly age 8 to 12, really. And this is where they are. They're at Complete Careers, and it's at the Crazy Careers page, which is part of our resources tab. So I think there's the link also in your conference pack. So do go there, because what we've uploaded today is a special Crazy Careers video, which features all of us as partners and some of our staff too. So you can come along there, you can have a good laugh at us, and you can see if there's anything there that you might be able to find to use with some of your learners too, at the same time, free of charge. Now, submitting the questions over to Mark as per the instructions in your pack means that you're entered into an opportunity to win a prize, really, of 2 hours consultancy from Complete Careers. So do have a look through and submit when you feel that you're ready to do that. Now, the very last slide from me. Just wanted to spend just a moment really on reflecting on the current context of where we are at the moment in the world and in careers. Now, obviously, everything's around COVID-19, pandemics, and a huge amount of uncertainty in the world at the moment. Also added into that, we've got the withdrawal going on at the moment with Brexit and the EU. And one thing that we can almost guarantee is that austerity is ahead of us, really. Times of recession, and what we know from various recessions over the decades is that, and centuries, is that the demographic that tends to be worstly affected by any austerity times is young people. So we've got a huge challenge really ahead of us as educators and as careers leaders to make sure that we keep aspirations going. Lots of campaigns around with Fatima and all sorts at the moment that really don't help really necessarily to add to that level of aspirations. But we've got a job here to make sure that we can keep aspirations as high as possible, and also to build things like resilience too as part of our careers programme and help people prepare for that uncertain future. But equally, not going to spend any moments at all talking about this really, because we've got our keynote speakers that are in a far better position than I am to do so. But we're expecting revised statutory guidance at some point. You know, we know that the current one makes reference all the way through to the end of 2020, so which is only really about 10 to 12 weeks away now. So we know we can expect some changes to that in the coming weeks and months, to start to think about, well, what does this world beyond 2020 look like, especially with the references to what we're expected to do for things like Gatsby. So that's going to be really interesting. We've also got the further education guidance, statutory duties for FE, which we can expect to see some further developments on too. We know that Professor Tristan Hooley is currently working on an updated careers CDI framework, which we can expect out perhaps later this year, perhaps into the new year. And also we've got a new focus really with Ofsted, which is really the perfect segue for me really to move from this welcome address onto welcoming our very first virtual speaker, which is Rachel Green from the Careers and Enterprise Company.